For the dental surgeon, also an integral part of the forensic team, the fact that teeth can be preserved through generations is very significant. Their skills in forensic odontology can help them identify persons or bodies and properly handle, examine, and evaluate records as part of the justice system.
Oftentimes people are identified using their dental characteristics, especially when facial identification, DNA, fingerprints are not possible. Then we find that the dental characteristics may actually be the means of identifying that person. And it's been found that the teeth are the part of the body that will remain like forever, even when the rest of the body decays and all of that. It can be used for age estimation. You can actually estimate the age of a person. You can also determine that some form of abuse has been going on, maybe with child abuse, spouse abuse, or even abuse of an elder, a senior. And you can determine that from the pattern of the dental characteristics, which suggests some form of trauma, pointing towards some form of domestic violence. So it can be used for that purpose. And of course, in the case of mass disasters, it can be used to identify the victims of the mass disaster. In the case of an individual, in this case of a person involved in some form of disaster, can also identify that particular person.
But every sector feels handicapped to carry out their forensic duties in Nigeria.
There are some investigations, there are some procedures to be carried out at the site of the scene. And at that site of scene, when evidential materials are collected, there should be laboratories. So the laboratories could come in various standards, with sophisticated equipment in there. In Nigeria, as of today, I do not know a laboratory, a functioning laboratory that we can say this is a forensic laboratory where we can carry out all the various investigations involved in forensic. I am not quite sure. I don't know of a functional. There could be one lab or the other named forensic, but I don't think something marvelous is being done there.
Mr. Kadiri Ahmed is a private investigator and is sometimes engaged by clients to conduct background checks on people. For instance, he could be asked to find out if a potential student in a foreign university has a criminal record. This, according to him, could pose a challenge.
In Nigeria, we do not have a forensic database, basically. What we have by way of forensic databases are, how will I put it, data scattered all over the place. Like the forensics you get maybe from your passport, from your banks, and other places that might ask you for biometrics in order to beef up their security. So you really do not have a forensic database somewhere where you say, okay, you have fingerprints here, or you have a lab where you analyze hair, you analyze blood that you find in a crime scene. We do not have that centralized anywhere. They just indulge in crude mode of investigation. Okay, we suspect you, take him into a cell, beat the hell out of him until he says the truth, and also you see we have found no proper civilized forensic analysis investigation that will lead to hard facts that are used in prosecuting.
After several unsuccessful attempts were made to contact the police for an interview, the Lagos Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Pt.2, was reached and in a telephone conversation refuted the claims of redundancy, stating that all policemen are taught to preserve a crime scene and forensic investigation is taught as a specialty. He also affirmed that the forensic lab at Alagbon is equipped to some degree, and facilities there were used recently to identify some seized illicit drugs as cocaine. Scores of unsolved high-profile crimes from 1999 to 2012, begging for closure. Only if material evidence from the crime scenes were preserved is there any hope of solving them. Players in the area of security and forensic medicine contend that forensic investigations are crucial to security in the sense that the actual persons who commit crimes could be apprehended and prevented from committing more crimes. Conversely, without evidence-based investigations, innocent people could be caught instead of the guilty and punished for crimes they did not commit.
Every bomb falls into a category. There are different categories depending on what they're going to be used for. And each category has a peculiar way of behaving. Okay? So when you bring in a forensic expert, when you bring in someone who is actually into bombs, that's his area of specialization, just from the telltale signs the bomb leaves after the blast, he's going to tell you exactly what kind of bomb and even what charge. So there are forensic experts, for example, or ballistic experts or bomb experts who will look at the telltale signs after the crime and put it back all together and produce for you a nearly perfect, accurate, if not perfect picture of what happened. And from there, start backtracking. With pieces of shrapnel, bits of metal, they put everything back together.
We don't have DNA bank. Okay, DNA bank is about anybody. Your DNA is in a bank that you can always check. You don't have fingerprint. We don't have dental records. And these are the things in which you can say, okay, this person must have been here. For your information, everybody in the world has a distinctive fingerprint. Ordinary fingerprint can pick you out of a million. Okay? Your dentition, your dental, this thing can pick you out of a million. Okay? But we don't have all those things. So if the assailant have picked the Chibok girls, I believe that the Chibok girls during the time will have struggled with some of them. There will have been scuffle. There will have been some things you can pick, either fingerprint or hair, or anything, and you can do the DNA. But when you have a DNA set and you don't have anything to compare, it may be difficult for you to track down the assailant. So until Nigeria is ready to know all its citizens and to be able to identify every one of us, it might be difficult.